I feel like in pop culture, there's a phrase about the perfect 10. In fact, there's even a movie called The Perfect 10 about a woman who is so beautiful. We always talk about getting our 10. Guys always seem to rate women on a scale so they can be able to tell the guy that they're talking to how pretty he actually thinks that this woman is. So we're really obsessed with getting a perfect 10. Here's the truth and here's the reality to getting a perfect 10. But also, I want to hit some key points here that I think are going to help you. So don't be too deterred by the thing I'm about to tell you. So if you want to get a perfect 10, you have to be a perfect 10. Okay, this is something I actually heard from a coach a long time ago, a dating coach who's no longer around, who no longer teaches, I should say. But he told me, and this really stuck with me, if you want to get a 10, you have to be a 10. A woman who is a 10 is looking for a 10. You know, if you want to look at, let's say, the typical 10, the Victoria's Secret model, right, who is known to all as some of the most beautiful women in the world, what kind of guy is she going to be with? Is she going to be with a guy who's an average Joe, or is she going to be with a guy who is probably famous, probably an athlete, probably extremely rich, also extremely good looking, super confident, right? She'll probably be with that guy. So you have to become a guy who is attractive on the outside, or I call this outer qualities, and on the inside, I call these your inner qualities or your behaviors, in order to attract a very beautiful woman. Here's the thing, is that I've noticed that the scale of beauty for many guys seems to be very different. I mean, yes, I know we can all agree that maybe a Victoria's Secret model is a 10. But I found that guys who are meeting women, guys who I coach specifically, will say, I met this beautiful woman. She's amazing. She's like a 9 or a 10. And I go, great. And they send me a picture of her, and I look at the picture and I go, huh, okay. I wouldn't think that's a 9 or 10, but to them it is. I even talk to my friends, and we have some pretty drastically different thoughts on what we think is attractive, right? What do they say? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It really is true. So there's a lot of variation here. So I say this in order to let you know that don't worry, you can still attract the kind of woman that you think is going to be beautiful. However, you still need to be upping your game on the inner qualities and the outer qualities. I also think we put way too much emphasis and power into the beauty of a woman physically. Okay, now I'm not saying that you shouldn't be with a beautiful woman. Absolutely. All I'm saying is I think it's overrated to be with a woman who's all looks and nothing else. Okay, sometimes you might meet a woman who is a 7 or an 8 physically, but then when you're hanging out with her, when you're getting to know her, when you have a connection with her, she starts to up her digits a little bit. She starts to become higher in your eyes of attraction. So really don't underestimate the power of connecting with a woman and being with a woman beyond just her looks. Again, not saying you should be or settle with any woman that you're not physically attracted to. You should be, but make sure that you're not just only looking at physical beauty. Let's break down a little bit more outer qualities and inner qualities, right? Because we are talking about how do you get a perfect 10. I put that in quotes because your perfect 10 is going to be different than my perfect 10, and so on and so forth. But how do you get that woman? All breaks down to inner qualities, outer qualities, or we can say your behaviors, inner qualities, and your looks and appearance and lifestyle, which is the outer qualities, okay? We need to maximize both. We always need to maximize both. I go really deep into this topic in my book, Magnetic, which you can check out on Amazon. I'll put a link down below, but I wanted to give you some stuff to use right now that you can take away with this. But just know that if you want to go deeper into this topic, that is available in my book where I have full chapters on outer qualities and inner qualities. But let's go over them right now. Inner qualities, behavior, the way you act, your charisma, your confidence, the way that you talk to a woman, the way that you present yourself, right? Like you're looking at me right now, just close your eyes for a second and just focus on what I'm saying to you and the way that I'm talking to you. Don't focus on what I look like, but just the way that I'm speaking to you. This would be behavior, but also your body language and things like that. That is part of your behavior as well, and the way that you are speaking to a woman and able to build attraction with her. A lot of guys are very nervous, unconfident men because they don't have a lot of situations with women that they put themselves in. They don't put themselves out there. They don't go and talk to enough women. They don't give themselves availability to go on a lot of first dates with women. So it's hard to build that confidence and competence if you're not putting yourself out there. So in order to get better at this, in order to be more comfortable in front of women and better conversationalists in front of women, you have to be putting yourself out there and talking to as many women as possible. You cannot be the wallflower. I was a wallflower for many years of my life, always being reactive and not proactive, meaning letting things happen to me. Hopefully there'd be a perfect moment when I'd be in front of the girl that I like to talk to, where it just kind of worked out and it was serendipitous and it just happened by chance in the perfect moment. And of course, when did that ever happen? I don't know, maybe one time where it finally happened, and then was I even good at talking to her and building attraction? No, I wasn't. So get rid of all those notions. Be more proactive and focus on putting yourself in front of women. Even if you have to talk to as many women as possible and you have times where you get rejected over and over, that's just part of the game. Get in there and do it. Let's talk about outer qualities now. I don't talk about that a lot on my channel. I think one of the reasons why I don't is because whenever I try to, a lot of guys don't seem to take to it as much because I haven't talked about it that much in the past, but it is important and you have to learn it. Again, more deeper in my book, Magnetic, but let's go over the 4-step attraction amplifier, the 4 things that are part of your outer qualities: your wealth, your health, your lifestyle, and your appearance. Okay? So these are the things that make up your outer qualities that will start to make you a more attractive person over time. Wealth, that's actually having money in the bank. You're investing. You are having a career that you love that's making you money. You're able to support yourself financially. These are things that sometimes take many years to build. That's why some guys don't get into their prime into their early to mid 30s, sometimes sooner, but that's something to be worked on. Your health, always making sure that you're in the best shape possible. Even me, I've been a skinny guy for many, many, many years, and it's taken me many years to get even to this degree. If you look at me, you probably still think I'm skinny, but if you go back 5 years ago and look at videos, you'll be like, wow, Tripp gained like 30 pounds, which is something I did. It takes time, but it's something to be worked on as well, making sure that you are fit, that you're healthy, that you're eating the right foods, all of that. So that is health. Next is lifestyle. Do you have hobbies? Do you have friends? Do you travel? Are you interested in new experiences? What is your life made up of? What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your time, your lifestyle? You should be doing fun and interesting things, not to attract women, but things that are interesting to you. What happens is you become a more attractive person. So make sure you're building things in your lifestyle. Again, we're talking about outer qualities here. And then your appearance, right? General things like haircut, beard, or completely shaven if you can't grow a beard. Are you wearing the clothes that make you look your best? Are you wearing fitted clothes? There's a saying that goes fit over fashion, which means that just focus on clothes that fit you rather than trying to be super stylish, because that's going to make you look good and it's a lot easier to do. So to summarize here, we're talking about finding and attracting your perfect 10. We're talking about your inner qualities, your behaviors, and your outer qualities, which are the 4 things that I talked about: wealth, health, lifestyle, and appearance. These are all the things that make up how you're going to be your most attractive self and things that you build over time. If you focus on all this, you will be able to meet a woman who's going to be your 10. And the higher you get on all these ladders, you will be able to attract, again, more attractive women. But like I said, just because they're attractive and maybe even famous, like would you love to be dating and sleeping with a woman who's, famous celebrity and super hot, but is it worth all the drama it comes with? Maybe not. Something to think about. Get my Magnetic book. It is down in the description below if you like reading and you want to have an actual physical copy, or there's the Kindle or audio version where you can learn more about all the things and techniques and systems that I talk about on all these videos. Hope that helps, and I'll see you on the next video.